So-and-so tweeted at me. Oh, sorry. I was just reading Twitter and following some of you guys back that followed me. Welcome into Bears Now. Give me a follow on Twitter. The next 20 people that follow me on Twitter at HGramNFL, we'll get it in the chat. I'm going to follow you guys back. I got Twitter opened up right now. Next 20 people that follow me, I will follow you back. So follow me now. We'll check in here in a little bit at HGramNFL, and I'll give you guys a follow back on Twitter, so go ahead and follow me. Okay, Tyrone with a $5 super chat for today's Bears mailbag. I was at the game, and you could tell the team is no longer behind him. He wasn't talking to anyone. Near anyone was talking to him. He has lost the locker room. I think it's possible. I mean, when Nick Foles gets caught mouthing this offense isn't working, if you believe the Bears blog saying there's lack of support in the building right now, it's very possible that that Nagy has lost his team. It's a must-win on Sunday for him. You lose to Detroit, it's all over. And Brog, is there any team we would be a lock with Nagy? In terms of, like, beating? I mean, the Bears beat Cincinnati, and that's a decent team. Shout out to the defense for 4 turnovers and still only won by 3 because the offense was so bad. I mean, Detroit's probably the easiest game left on the schedule. You have them twice, and I don't think that's a lock. So, no, I don't think any game the rest of the season should be considered a lock with how this offense is right now. Do you guys have Bill Lazor's stats from last season? I don't. We should all take the Lazor stuff with a grain of salt. He did that against Houston, I believe Detroit, and one other team. I can't remember. But the 3 teams they beat were not good ones. Minnesota, I think, was the other one. And then the last 2 games, they lost to Green Bay and to New Orleans, and the offense wasn't good. And everybody's like, oh, well, Nagy took the play calling back. I don't think that's true. I think against good competition, Trubisky struggled. So he's definitely – I think he would be an upgrade from Nagy at this point as the play caller, but I don't have the raw stats in front of me. IMT12, Mitch was garbage. Don't forget the overthrows. Yeah, garbage might be a stretch. I mean, he was garbage for being a number 2 overall pick. I do think he's a good backup quarterback. I think as a fringe starter, like if your starter gets hurt and you need him for 4 to 6 weeks, he can keep you afloat, but I don't think he's a franchise guy, and that's okay. Like, it's hard to be a franchise quarterback. Don't think he's garbage, but, yeah, he lacked accuracy issues. Could do some things on the run, couldn't throw the deep ball at all. He's got major flaws. AXL Maverick, appreciate all the super chats, guys. Is there any risk of the secondary getting beat like it did against the Rams this weekend? Not to that level because the Lions do not have receivers like that. Also, Jared Goff is not Matthew Stafford. Why do you think the Rams traded Goff for Stafford? Stafford's been fantastic. I don't see that. I do think they could give up some plays, but the defense the last 2 weeks has played pretty well. Hopefully Tashawn Gibson gets back, although I thought Deion Bush was fine. We'll see what happens on that front. And Brog, another super chat. What's worse, Trestman's defense or a Nagy offense? Oh, goodness. That's tough. I mean, it's not Trestman's defense. He was an offensive coach. I would probably go, I'd probably go. How about this? The Trestman era was worse than the Nagy era. As much as we are bodying Matt Nagy right now, they've made the playoffs twice. So that counts for at least something. Chris Foles, should Chicago hire Kellen Moore if Nagy gets fired? Also, let's go, Nick. That must be Chris's dad. No way, right? Should Kellen Moore be the guy? I'll say this. I love Kellen Moore's offense. I really do love Kellen Moore's offense. I had a brain blast. I was like, Kellen Moore calling plays against the Lions. That would be a clinic. Didn't happen. It's not going to happen, obviously, at least this year. Did you watch the Cowboys game against the Eagles? I know the Eagles probably aren't very good, but Kellen Moore put on a clinic. He has helped Dak Prescott tremendously. Him and Justin Fields have similar physical attributes. So I would love Kellen Moore in Chicago. Would he be my number 1 choice? Not necessarily, but top 3, top 4? Absolutely. If they hired Kellen Moore, sign me up. I think he is a head coach in the making. Should the Bears hire Kellen Moore? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. I'd love to see it, man. I think Kellen Moore is going to be a head coach next year, in my opinion. So get your votes in. Y for yes, in for no. Should the Bears hire Kellen Moore? Another super chat. Pace needs to go as well. 5 tight ends. That's another point. You keep 5 tight ends, your O-line's getting whipped, and you don't use J.P. Holtz to block? I don't think he was one of the inactive players. Like, why are you carrying 5 tight ends, and the one time you could use extra tight ends to come block, you don't use them? I mean, it's just mind-boggling. But yes, Ryan Pace can go too. Thank you for drafting Justin Fields. You found some decent gems late in drafts, but I don't need Ryan Pace. Like, let's cut the Band-Aid. Let's start fresh with this thing. That's just my opinion, but that's kind of how I feel. If you love the Chicago Bears, we're the channel for you. YouTube.com/BearsNow. Do not miss a single video here on this channel. We'll keep you guys up to date with the latest Bears news, rumors on Sundays or Monday, Thursday, depending on what day of the week the Bears play. We will have live watch parties. So don't miss any of it. YouTube.com/BearsNow, and we will keep you guys up to date. Zachary here. There shouldn't be any reason Nagy still has the play calling role. There were multiple announcers, radio hosts, and players who were just in disbelief how the play calling went against. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on Monday, right? Dan Orlovsky says it's the worst plan he's ever seen. That guy played quarterback in the NFL for 12 years. We love to make fun of him running out of the end zone, but he knows how to watch film. He knows how to, what good offense looks like. Rex Ryan, a former NFL coach, said it was a joke. Like, no one has defended Matt Nagy pretty much. Colin Cowherd kind of has. He was like, well, Nagy told y'all that Justin Fields wasn't ready, so maybe he wasn't. Yeah, him and Cowherd are boys, so that could be part of the equation there. It's indefensible. It's absolutely indefensible what we witnessed against the Browns. Some guy, if we keep Nagy, do you think Justin Fields will be a bust? Oh my! I mean, the only way you can keep Nagy and this works out is if he takes away play calling from himself, gives it to someone else, and whoever that person is basically has full control of the play calling. That's the only chance where Nagy is just kind of a manager of the team, kind of like Mike McCarthy in Dallas. He doesn't call plays, but he's kind of the overseer of everything. Maybe that's possible, but I think you got to get someone else in here, in my opinion. Taurean Whitfield at 1-2. Bears play the Lions, Raiders, Packers, Bucks, Niners, Steelers, and Ravens. Coming up, can Nagy survive another 6-game losing streak? Like I said, you lose the Lions, I think it's over. I don't see how he can survive that. Now, the Bears may not fire him midseason, but that means that he's not going to last. Unless they just get hot randomly and start beating these good teams. But you lose the Lions, who are you going to beat on that list? You're not beating the Raiders the way they're playing if you lose to Detroit. Green Bay, nope. Bucks, nope. 49ers, nope. Steelers, maybe. They're not very good on offense. Ravens, I doubt it. You could be realistically 2-7, 1-6. I mean, it's going to be bad if you lose to Detroit. There's no doubt. IMT12, talk about number 4. Is he scared to wrap up and tackle? Eddie Jackson's tackled a little better this year, but still missing too many. I don't know if he's scared. I don't know if he's just bad at it. It's definitely very frustrating, but he's played it marginally better, I would say, this year, but not nearly good enough. Need to see him tackle better, please. Also, that touchdown by Austin Hooper, that was on Jackson. He can't leave that hole that wide open. The Bears will win blank games this year. Fill in the blank for us down in the comments. How many games will the Bears win? The Bears will win blank games this year. If you ask me right now, if Matt Nagy's the head coach and play caller all year, I'll say 4 or 5 games. If he gets fired, I'll say maybe 7 or 8. I'm anywhere between 5 and 9. 9's the absolute ceiling at this point. 4 or 5 is the floor, I think. You're going to win a couple of games because the defense is still talented, but it's not good. Let us know. How many games will the Bears win? Ethan Eli, why couldn't we trade for CJ Henderson? The Panthers did, and it wasn't that bad of a trade. Yeah, the Panthers gave up a tight end and a third for CJ Henderson and a 5th. I would have done that. So maybe Henderson's not that good, but neither is Kendall Vilder or Duke Shelley. So, yeah, I hear you, Ethan. But at the same time, do you want to give up more draft capital if you might fire your coach and GM? I don't, so I guess that could be part of the thinking. PHOW25 using hashtag Bears. The next time Nagy says the whys, fire him on the spot and kick him out of the building. Yeah, I said this on Monday's video. Matt Nagy. Oh, we got to find out the whys. Let me tell you why. It starts with Matt and ends with Nagy. You're the why. Your game plan was bad. Your adjustments were worse. You're the damn head coach and offensive coordinator. You are why. You are why your quarterback got sacked 9 times. You are why this team only scored 6 points. You are why this offense averaged 1.1 yards per play. Yeah, I'll tell you why. That's why. Funkbringer, does anyone remember what Goldman even looks like anymore? He's a big boy. That's all I know. He hadn't played in the game in almost 2 years, so I hope he plays this week, but we'll see what happens. Deandre Jackson, I bet Ryan Pace wishes he had Kyle Fuller now. If you had Fuller next to Johnson, that might be the best 1-2 punch in the league. Probably not the best, but top 5. Like, that would be really good. I mean, Johnson's really ascended. He's a good player. Fuller's still good. You could live with Fielder and or Shilley in the slot, but for both of them having to start, not ideal. John Dorman, and by the way, I do want to mention, Duke Shelley actually played a lot better last week. What are your thoughts on keeping Pace after firing Nagy? They gave him 4 chances on a quarterback. Would you be shocked if they gave him another chance on a head coach if they don't think we are rebuilding? I don't see how you can keep Pace if you fire Nagy. Now, 6 months ago, I was saying I would fire Pace over Nagy. I have flipped that. If I had to choose one to fire, I would fire Nagy. But I think they should both go. Maybe you fire Nagy mid-season, see what the interim guy does, and then you evaluate Pace after the season. But Pace should go too. I think it's probably best if you just start fresh at GM, at head coach, and let's get this rolling with Justin Fields next season. Also, I'm trying to get to 3,000 followers on Twitter. I told you guys I would follow back the first 20 people that followed me. So if you're watching this live, wow, we got 22 new followers. Freddie Reyes, Watto, Eddie for Congress, Travis, MF, I'm following all of you. Ethan, Jordan, Coach T, Machu Picchu, Yo Mama, P. Howard, Jacob, James, Skocam, Dan, Jacob, Doctor, L2 Cloud, Welke, ESB Sports, Dracious, CJ, John, following all of you guys. If you're watching on a later date than Tuesday, follow me on Twitter at HGramNFL, and I will follow the first 20 people that follow me after this video goes out. Okay, Taurean Whitfield here. I believe Nagy will start Nick Foles against the Lions. What say you? If that happens, I will lose my mind. That can only happen if Andy Dalton is injured and Justin Fields gets hurt in practice. If he starts him over a healthy Fields, I will get ready for the watch party because I will lose my shit. Funkbringer, is there anything we can do to improve our O-line this season, or is it a wash till the offseason? There's always things you can do. You can try. You could play Alex Barr somewhere. You could try to sign someone. You could make a trade. You don't have a ton of options. You hope Larry Borom can come back and give you a lift if you want to start him. Maybe Tevin Jenkins plays at some point, but for the most part, Funk, you are kind of stuck. And to be fair, before last week, the O-line was at least above average. Now, that was a bad game, but that might be the toughest defensive line you face all year. So hopefully it gets a little better moving forward.